Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Not really used to saying that, but you know what? Let's just keep going. So this is one of the games that I completed for my computer science group project. It's called The Guilds of Lancaster, and it's a platforming game. Sorry about the video recording software here. It kind of glitched up and it's skipping frames, but don't worry, the gameplay will get better. I promise. Yep. Just keep watching. So this game is a platforming game, like I said, and it's set in a fantasy-themed Lancaster University. So the idea is that in Lancaster University there are 8 different colleges, and these colleges you can sort of think about them as Hogwarts houses. So they all have a different mascot, different colors, different feels and looks. And so we thought that would be a really cool idea for us to have a game where you have to learn all of the different abilities from each different college as and then when you collect all of the abilities you can finally do the last level, which you can see at the bottom of the level select screen, which is the enemy. And once you learn all the different abilities you go and do that, and that's the game. And so it's sort of like a tour de France of all the different colleges. So we're going into the next level. Well, there's no next level, there's no linear progression. The player can choose whatever level they want to do at any given time. I thought that was pretty cool, but it does make the game, designing the game a bit harder. Yeah, so because you need to like sort of consider whether the player can, if the player receives a certain ability, will it break another level, for example. And yeah, in some cases yes, in some cases no, but it was pretty hard to program it. The level we're doing now is Bolin College. As you may tell by the name, um, the Bolin College really likes their bows, so we decided to put that into the game as like a way to kill the enemy, which are the geese. If you didn't know already, Lancaster University have are rivals of this university called University of York, and for some reason there's a lot of ducks in Lancaster, and there are a lot of geese in York. Um, so we decided to put in the geese as the enemies. There are no ducks in this game, even though these guys look like ducks, but that's kind of the real life lore behind the game. Oh, hopefully you didn't see that. I was not really paying attention when I was playing this game, but yeah, just ignore that part. Just ignore that part. So there are 3 types of enemies. There's the geese grunt, which you may have saw in the start of the level, and these like spitter geese. These spitter geese like spit um, occasionally, and if you take damage, you sort of start again at the start of the screen. Right here, I'm showing off Grystill's ability. So Grystill College in real life, they're known to be party people. Every time I walk past, it's really loud. They're constantly playing music and stuff. So we decided that their ability should be concoction, and so when the player uses this concoction ability, they don't take damage, and when you take damage in this game, you jump. So I thought it was pretty cool. So you use the concoction ability, like here, you take damage intentionally, and then you get a free jump, and yeah. Um, so the art of this game, as you can tell, is really based off of retro, like a retro style, like Mario. I the bricks and the grass are actually based. I based off the bricks of Minecraft, and my other project member the dirt and the clouds. But I did more or less 90% or 95% of all the art assets, so like the spikes, the player's abilities, the ability icons on the top left. Yeah, those were done by me. Um, Frankly speaking, I'm not actually an artist, and which is why the art is so simple. But I don't know. A lot of people have told me they like it, so I'm pretty happy with the outcome of that. It took me quite a long time to draw all of the art, and I kind of wish that we hired an artist or something. But you know, it turned out pretty well. I'm a big fan of the simplicity, and I think that's why the game looks so clean. It's very colorful. It's very simple. You can tell what's happening in the game. Yeah. By the way, this particular level is called Filed. It's based off Filed College uh, in Lancaster University. For some reason, they picked a windmill as their mascot, and so we decided that we would make the ability a dash ability. So I'm doing a skip here. The dash is just like a left to right increase of X velocity, and yeah, it's one of my favorite abilities because you can dash upwards as well. You may have noticed me trying to skip some of the levels by dashing upwards and over the top of the level. You can see that best in the next one. So I completely skipped the entire thing because I chose certain abilities to try and break it, which I said was we were trying not to do, but you know, I find that it's pretty interesting that players figure out the different combinations of what abilities they might have in order to do the levels faster, which is really the main goal of the game, is to incentivize players to finish the level as fast as possible. So yeah, so in that one, I used the Grysdale ability to hit the spikes on the top, which gave me a jump and allowed me to like run across the entire screen. So I basically skipped the second screen and I finished the level pretty easily. That was done in 30 seconds. The one I'm doing now is called the Pendle College. So Pendle College is based off the real life witches, the so-called witches in Lancaster a long time ago, and a bunch of them got like harassed and kidnapped and killed by the medieval and backwards people at that time. So yeah, so that's what the college is based off. So we thought, wow, witches are pretty cool. So and they might have like potions and concoctions. So their ability is to throw a potion at the enemy and it will kill them. Yeah, please ignore what's going on the screen right now. I promise the game is more or less finished, and yeah, so it's pretty fun for the most part. You may encounter some bugs, but you know, all games have bugs, right? Yeah, so um, where was I? Where was I? Oh, alright. So yeah, so that's the Pendle ability. So this game it took us about 18 weeks to complete, including the winter break. So in total 22 weeks. It was a collaborative project, like I said before, which I found was kind of hard actually. If you've done a lot of programming before, you will know that it's kind of hard to program with other people, given that you need to not only think about the logic that you're programming, but the logic of others as well, and how to work in a team in an efficient way. And yeah, so I learned a lot from this project, and I'm really happy with my group members I because I wouldn't be able to do this much work, and a lot of them are really creative with how they program some of the solutions here. And so yeah, I'm really happy with my group, and I don't think the game would have looked like this without them. So yeah, a big shout out to them. Right here we've got the Lonsdale ability. So Lonsdale College their mascot's a lion. So we thought, okay, why don't the player roars and it will disable all enemies on the screen. As you saw, the spitter stopped spitting, the geese with the spikes stopped moving, and so we thought it would be a really cool way of introducing some cool solutions into the game. So I jump across the enemies here, avoid the spiked geese, and move to the next level. This next level is one of my favorites in its concept because you sort of need to time using the stun and trying to try to get to the top of the level at the same time. So, which brings me to my next point, which is like the level design. One of my team members programmed a level editor, which I thought was really genius. It not only allows our game to be designed easily, so that we don't have to hard code all the positioning of all the blocks and so on, but it also allows our game to be a lot more scalable. So right now we have 3 screens per level, but because of our time constraints. But if, let's say, we wanted to complete the game or make the game more complicated, by using the level editor, we could theoretically put maybe a lot more levels, a lot more content in this game. So big shout out to that guy as well. um, so this level here is called County College. In real life, their mascot's like a maple leaf or some random leaf or something, and I don't really know what it is. And so I thought it would be like plant-based, which is why on the level select screen there are a big tree. But our initial idea for making this ability was to have the player swing across, like shoot out a vine and like swing across the screen, but it was way too hard to implement, and so we kind of ditched the concept in the end. Yeah, so in this iteration, what happens is the player actually slows down time. So, basically, the player focuses on nature or whatever, and which apparently allows you to slow down time. It doesn't really match the theme, but the platform makes the platforming really cool. So as you can see here, the player's trying to time jumping up with trying to slow down the spitters. So if I can do it properly, I slow down the spitters here, and then I make it out of the level before the. Oh wait, that's not it. So there are many ways of creatively approaching the solution, like I'm not doing right now. For example, shooting the bows at the spit will cause the spit to disappear. You can use the furnace ability to get the double jump so that you can scale that staircase a bit faster. And yeah. So you may have noticed that I've been skipping the story a lot. So there's also like a dialogue feature that we include into the game, but I skipped it because I didn't really want you guys to read it. Most of the story is written by me and another group member, and I find it like really awful. Like the thing that we came up with. I mean, it's at some point if we do make the game public, you guys are feel free to go and read it, but it's not the best. But you know, you can't really expect that much from computer scientists. Yeah, I mess up here. Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of dialogue here, and some of the characters that we wrote into dialogue don't even appear in the game, so it just doesn't make sense. But like I said, give us a break. The level I'm trying to attempt right now is called the last level, University of York level. It's their invasion, and so we kind of have to stop their invasion by destroying the robot at the end of this level. It's not actually a robot. The robot's made out of bricks, which isn't really good design. But you know, we kind of ran out of time. This level is really challenging, especially for players who've played a lot of platforming games. So the idea behind it is that after going through all of those levels, you've practiced a little bit, you kind of understand how the game flows, and now this is really like a challenge for you to show your understanding of the abilities of what you learned. Cool thing about the York level is that you can use any of the abilities that you've unlocked already to finish it. So I use like the Pendle, Furnace, and Cartmel to complete that level really quickly, and it's really smooth. Yeah, so I think that was pretty neat. So like for example, this one I chose the Grindsteel, Furnace, and the Bolden abilities. Yeah. Yeah, so if we had a lot more time, there's a lot of other things that we could have included in the game. So of course I already said more levels was something, but we also wanted to do a lot more like the abilities to be more fine-tuned. You might have noticed a lot of bugs already. The graphics maybe could have been a bit better. The story could have been better. The game originally was meant to be like a Metroidvania, which is like an open world 2D game kind of, and you kind of explored all the different colleges. Maybe in the future we would change the game so that you're sort of like going to Hogwarts or something, you're like learning how to use all these abilities. But yeah, like I said, we ran out of time. Currently or one of my guys, one of my team members is changing the game so that rewriting the game in C#. Right now the game's written in Java and uses a JSML library. Just JSML libraries, they stopped supporting it in like 2013, which was a big challenge for us, and so he decided to redo it in C#. using a more recent library which is constantly being updated to this day. So that may come out in some near future, um, and but as for now, it only works on Java. Oh, and this version also doesn't work on Mac for whatever reason. Like I said, it probably has to do with the outdated engine. But yeah, honestly, I don't know why our lecturers asked us to use JSML, but whatever. Yeah, so this is the final level of the game. It's like that's the that's the robot basically. You don't really defeat it, but you just jump over it and you kind of beat the the invaders. So yeah, not the best. These invaders are not exactly the best, but they'll do for the purposes of our game. So I try and figure out how to double jump here. Then, oh my goodness, you didn't see that. Sorry. I told you guys the gameplay would be good, but hopefully my mistakes were entertaining in some way. And yeah, so that completes the York level, and that's the game really. So thanks for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one.